Your appearance makes Pedro hesitant. He stops quarrying and swiftly leaves the premises. As soon as he leaves, Winnie collapses onto the floor. You hurriedly contact Artem, and the two of you help her into the law firm. Are you feeling better? Or do you need to visit the hospital? I'm fine. My blood sugar has just got a bit low. Artem walks over with a mug and places it in front of Winnie. Hot chocolate. You'll feel better after drinking it. Thanks, I'm Winnie Cooper. I came here today. Hired a lawyer for Penny's Comfort Food. Penny's Comfort Food? Isn't that the high-end private restaurant that's under fire because of the recent food poisoning incident? Everything online is a lie. Grandpa Vern opened his restaurant in memory of his late wife. It had a good reputation for 25 years. Food poisoning incident must have been an accident. Miss Cooper, it's Grandpa Vern, and this is with your relation to him. Grandpa Vern? The name is Vern Green. He owns Penny Comforts Foods and is my sponsor. Your sponsor? Yes, Grandpa Vern has sponsored the unprivileged students for many years, and I'm one of them. Aww. Aww. If it weren't for him, I would have never got into Stellis University. You came here today because of a lawsuit has already been filed. Yes, Grandpa Vern was willing to settle it privately, but the customers came to extort him for a large sum of money, so he refused. They got a lawyer from the Bulgar lawyer office to file a class action lawsuit. Bulgar again. Bulgar of Legal Offices is the largest law firm in Stellis. After the two of the aces lost to Artem, Boulder marked Themis as the Arkham Medical Lead and has targeted the firm at every opportunity. Ignoring Bulgar's grudge only seems to bruise its ego even more. Grandpa angrily enough to have a heart attack. Ay. Bulgar's lawyers left a bad taste in his mouth, so he won't hire any to defend himself. The trial's next Wednesday. If we don't find a lawyer, there's no way we can defend ourselves. We're really... I don't know what... Winnie, take a deep breath. You can answer some questions for me, so we can sort out everything what happened. Okay. Okay, the questioning begins. Who was that man who was arguing with you at the front? That was Petro Brooks, a sales manager at the Deli Cart. Deli Cart, the food review app? That's the one. This happened, something to do with the Deli Cart? Not at first, but when Pedro caught wind of it, he came trying to sell Grandpa Vern's their premium services. What would I give him? Oh man, it's the fact that people got food poisoning from your restaurant. If it goes to court, then it's going to cost you your money and your reputation. Believe me, if you buy the Deli Corp premium PR services, customers will stop with all bad press. I'll make it go away. How he's sure I can make it all go away? And this Deli Cart? I heard the company has plans to go public soon. That ought to be a delicate time for them. It's not wise to take the risk from associating with such a volatile incident. Did Miss Brooks personally approach Miss Green, or was it instructed by the Deli Cart? I'm not sure. Deli Cart, a shady company. It wasn't the first time Pedro harassed Grandpa Vern. Not the first time? You finish one line of inquiry. Continue to obtain one more key information. Past encounters or details on the incident. Let me get some past encounters, shall we? We gotta get the full detail. Let's investigate the past encounters, shall we? You said this wasn't the first time that the deli cart of Pedro harassed Mr. Green. Can you elaborate? Pedro, in charge of sales, is in the area that Grandpa Vern's restaurant is located. In the past, Pedro pestered Grandpa Vern to buy a premium membership just to reach his sales goals. The premium membership was too expensive. The Grandpa Vern turned down to say the money for helping is a disadvantage to students. Pedro was punished by his company for not hitting his target, though he hated Grandpa Vern ever since. He even hired a ghostwriter to review bomb the restaurant. He must be elasticated that something like this has happened. In other words, there's a conflict of interest between Mr. Brooks and Mr. Green. This incident created a business opportunity for Mr. Brooks. Do you suspect that Mr. Brooks somehow connected the incident? We need to consider all possibilities. When did the incident occur? A Friday noon 2 weeks ago. My wife had lunch with her colleagues here, and she kept throwing up and having diarrhea in the afternoon. There's something wrong with your food. My son and daughter-in-law as well. What quality you probably use is adultery ingredients to make your dirty money. I kept the receipts and medical records. The FFB are going to be here soon. Let's see how you'll talk your way out of this one. Don't let them pour out. Don't let them pour out the soup. No, the evidence.
あの日、海の幸と豆腐の煮込みを注文したお客さんのうち、最初に症状を訴えたご家族を発端に6人が食中毒に。
6 customers who had seafood tofu soup showed symptoms of food poisoning that day.
保健所の調査では、煮込みに使う湧き水から殺虫剤の成分が検出されて、管理不十分による事故と断定されています。
The Food Safety Bureau found traces of insectable into the spring water, used to make the soup. They believe it was caused by negligent management.
これが事故鑑定報告書です。
This is the first FSB's incident report. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's have a little look at that, shall we? Interceptable. You've obtained a piece of evidence. It could be critical to the case. Go check it out. Let's have a little look at our evidence folder, shall we? You can check all the evidence and clues here. Remember to come back here when something's added. Let's continue talking to Winnie and discover the more important information. Okay, the employee's whereabouts. Let's see where this goes, shall we? Being able to buy a toxic insecticide is suspicious in all of itself. Did any of the other restaurant's employees demonstrate abnormal behavior after the incident?
怪しい行動ですか?
Abnormal behavior?
例えば、最近大きな買い物をしたとか、急に羽振りが良くなったとか。
For example, being able to purchase something they normally cannot afford.
それはないみたいです。
I don't think so.
青い食堂は大きくありません。おじいさんが料理長で、それ以外は店員1人とアルバイト1人しか雇っていません。
Grandpa's Vern's restaurant isn't big. He takes the chief, and he only hired a servant and a caretaker.
事故の後は、その2人は巻き込まれたくないと口実を作って辞めてしまいました。
After the incident, those two were afraid they'd get involved, so they came up with reasons to resign and work elsewhere. That sounds kinda sus to me. You don't resign after some food poisoning has taken place, do you? An attitude or other guarantees? You said Mr. Green supported a lot of financially disadvantaged students. How long has he been doing this?
諏訪さんの奥さんがまだ生きていた頃からだと聞きましたから、25年以上ですね。
He started when his wife was still alive, so probably more than 20 years. Most of the students he helped probably have families and jobs now?
はい。大半がステラ市で家を構えて幸せに暮らしています。
Yeah, many of them are living a good life right here in Stellis. Now, I feel like something's happened here. They're like, yes, remember when we took you in and gave you food and shelter? Now you must do this for me.
私ももうすぐ自立するんです。
Actually, I probably count as being financially independent now.
先月、ステラ市師範大学の合格通知が届きまして、奨学金は全額免除ですが、アルバイトで生活費を稼ぐ予定でした。
I received my admission letter, a full scholarship for Stellis University last month, so I wanted to come here and work first.
いつまでも諏訪のおじいさんを頼ってるわけにはいきませんし。
I can't always rely on Grandpa Verns, right? You should have respect, Winnie. Although Miss Green's charity work isn't directly relevant, it demonstrates that he is a good man and not a shady profiteer. If the court finds him guilty of negligence, this information can reduce Mr. Green's payout and keep his restaurant's reputation intact. Winnie, can you ask some of the students that Miss Green or Mr. Green helped to appear in court?
実は事故の後、おじいさんの援助を受けてた人たちに助けを求めたのですが。
Actually, I had reached out to them after the incident, but
考えると言ってくれたのはごく一部で、中には援助金を返すと怒鳴りつけてくる人もいました。
the better of the bunch offered money to pay back Grandpa Vern's help.
そればかりか、ネットの野じ馬たちと一緒におじいさんを責める人も出てきて。
Some even criticized Grandpa's Verns like the mobs online.
私が助けを求めるのも、恩を利用して利益を得るためだって、そんな勘違いまでされて。
They said Grandpa's Vern must be getting old to make those mistakes, that I was leveraging them for favors. I really didn't like it.
今の生活があるから面倒ごとに巻き込まれたくない。
It's
当然の
understandable.
感情ではありますね。
It's understandable that people want to avoid matters like this. Okay. So we got the customer's conditions. How are the victims now?
みんな完治しています。これは病院が提供してくれたカルテです。
They've all been given a clean bill of health. This is a medical report from the hospital. Okay, thank you for the medical bill. We can take that
6
in.
名のお客さんはお店での昼食後、みんな下痢が止まらなくなったそうです。
All six of
け
them
ど、
ate.
それ以上の病状は出ていません。
All six of them ate lunch at the restaurant and had severe diarrhea afterwards. But that's as bad as it got.
誰も入院してませんし、ちょうど週末だったから相手の仕事にも支障をきたさなかった。
None of them were hospitalized, and none of them missed work since it was almost the weekend.
そんな状況で一人当たり200万の賠償を請求してくるなんてあんまりです。
Yet they're demanding 30,000 from Grandpa Vern. That's absurd.
食中毒の賠償金額は法律上計算基準が設けられています。不当な請求は許されません。
Compensation from food poisoning has a legal standard, so the judge won't allow the plaintiff to extort the defendant.
よかった。少し安心しました。
That's really good to hear. Key information has now been acquired, so I should be able to end the questioning. Thank you so much. We got the free key information that we needed.
事件に関して私が知ってるのはこのくらいです。ステラ市に来てまだ1ヶ月くらいですし。
I've only been in Stellis for about a month, and I occasionally take care of Grandpa Vern when the case is not working. That's all I know about the case.
状況はおおむね理解しました。あとは青い食堂で証拠を集める前に委任契約書を締結する必要があります。
We now understand the general situation, but we still need to investigate the scene. A representation agreement must be signed first.
ですが安田さん、あなたは青い食堂の所有者でも経営者でもない。食堂の代わりに弁護士に依頼することはできません。
However, you're neither the owner nor the manager of the restaurant, so you can't appoint a lawyer on its behalf.
そうですか。
Is that so? Miss Green, you might be less angry now. How about I visit him and try to convince him to accept an attorney's help?
この案件を受けるつもりか？
You want to take this case? I do, Mr. Green. Has sponsored unprivileged students for all these years, given hopes to those who need it. Now he's the one in difficult situations. Someone should stand up for him, like Winnie here. On top of that, Commercial and economic law are my areas of expertise.
わかった。ならこの件は君に任せる。
Then it
困った
is
ことがあ
yours.
ったらいつでも連絡してくれ。
Then it is yours. I'll provide support if you need it. Thanks a lot, Mr. Wing.
あの、
Are you concerned, Winnie? I'm not a senior attorney like Mr. Wing, but
いえ、そういう意味じゃなくて、誤解しないでください。
no, nothing like that. Don't get me wrong. Winnie takes out the envelope from her canvas purse. A shyly hand hands it to you and Artem. You open the envelope and find a stack of bills inside. With the popular of electronic payments, people rarely use physical money nowadays. But Winnie...
親からもらった生活費と今月のバイト代、全部そこに入れました。
It's the money my parents gave me for my living expenses along with my salary this month.
おじいさんは蓄えをほとんど学生支援に使ってたし、賠償金の件もあります。高齢で心臓も弱いから苦労はかけられない。
Grandpa Vern spent most of his savings helping students, but now he has not to worry about compensation for the incident. He's old and his heart isn't doing too well.
もし足りなければ、バイトして分割で弁護士費用をお支払いします。このようなやり方で了承していただけるかどうか。
I'm willing to work and pay the legal fees in installments if that's allowed. The light envelope suddenly feels weighty in your hands. Artem takes the envelope from you and hands it back to Winnie with a gentle smile. A rare sight to see.
テミスには司法援助金の仕組みがあります。条件の該当者であれば弁護費用の減額もしくは免除が可能ですよ。
Don't worry, you are qualified for the firmest legal aid. Our fees can be reduced or waived.
本当ですか？
Really? Mr. Wing's a senior partner here and is essentially one of the bosses. You can trust what he says.
助かります。この前、探偵に今回の件を調査してもらいましたが、彼もお金のことなら心配ないって言ってくれました。
Thank you so much. I hired a private detective without Grandpa Vern's knowledge. He also told me that I don't have to worry about payment.
ステラ市にはやっぱりいい人が多いんですね。
There are so many nice people here in Stelis. Artem's phone suddenly rings. After seeing the caller ID, the expression on his face changes, and he sees to be a bit restless.
すみません。ちょっと失礼。
Pew. Please excuse me. After apologizing to Winnie, Artem rushes out of the room. Since there isn't much time, you want to act sooner rather than later. We really should get a move on, since the trial's set for next Wednesday. Let's go visit Mr. Green at the restaurant.
はい、青い食堂は都心にあります。ここから遠くありません。
Okay. His restaurant is in a central business district, not too far from here. Artem still hasn't come out of his office. You text him, where are you going, where you're going, and then you take off with Winnie. Did something trouble pop up with him? I hope everything goes well. In his office, Artem is furious, talking on his phone.
メール一通で先生が N2X を裏切ったと決めつけるなんて悪いが納得できない。
I will not believe that the professor betrayed the NXX just because of what one email says.
我々3人は立場があり、誰もが公平公正ではない。故に、新メンバーを捜査に加えてもらう。
We have three of our own perspectives, so none of us can be impartial. I'll bring in a new member to aid with the investigation.
いいだろう。ふさわしい人物がいれば、森月に精神状態をチェックしてもらう。
Yes, if there's a suitable candidate, I'll have Vine conduct a psychological evaluation. Oh, okay.
Count what you have now, don't count what you don't have.